Good evening, good morning, good day, good night, wherever you're watching from. 𝐲𝐿𝐿 here. Say hello wherever you're watching from. Where are you watching this? Say yes to yourself is the topic that we're gonna talk about today. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to yourself every single fucking time, even if it doesn't make sense. 𝐲𝐿𝐿 is my name. I am an unapologetically you soul liberator, a psychic surgeon, helping leaders to transmute guilt and shame so that they can harness their sexual energy to create success in their business so that they can avoid success in their business or career, destroying their relationships. Who is with me here? Success does not have to come at the expense of your relationships, right? You can have it all. This is where we're coming from. And what I want to ask you today in this Lionsgate, because the energy is still here, is are you open and allowing, to anchor in these frequencies of wisdom, wealth, and wonder-filled bliss? And why am I talking about the wonder-filled bliss? Because I realize that a lot of people, when it comes to their vision, their mission, they forget to bring in the pleasure. They forget to bring in the inner child. They forget to expand into those expansive frequencies, which cause you to relax into receiving and having fun. A lot of people, they create from, like, they have to compromise and sacrifice their well-being. They have to sacrifice their joy. It's kind of like you're just going to keep on grinding, grinding, grinding. But that doesn't work anymore. We are in this new earth where the energy is just asking you to align. Alignment is the key. Are you aligned with the number of money that you want to call forth per month? And one other question that I like to ask is, where do you feel that in your body? you know and when you connect with that money, do you feel turned on, or you are constricting, or a part of you is kind of like, yeah, you'll make it, no you won't? There is this conflict and all that. And it's quite interesting with what is coming through. I'm just going to share that because it's one thing that has been coming through a lot, and calls that I've been having with some clients and also potential clients. The whole thing of being born in this beliefs that you are flawed, you are a sinner. Just being here, you are a sinner, you are not enough. If at all you are coming from the religious background, if you grew up in the religious background, that is the foundation. You are not enough. The comparison even, so when you believe that you are a sinner, you are not enough, when you feel guilt about shining your light, when you feel guilt about receiving money, which is also the vows that I'm coming through a lot, where where you gave up the material stuff, so that you can get a place in the kingdom of God, where you are afraid of outshining your siblings, your family, the culture, and all that. The fear even of being alone if you evolve. Actually, I've come across a lot of people who, when I talk about this transformation with the work that I'm doing, it's kind of like, where am I going to be after that? And some, it's even about releasing the emotions, where the fear is like, who am I going to be without this pain, without this grief, without this anger, without this shame, guilt, you name it? Because there are 4 emotions that I've realized are interfering a lot with you aligning with prosperity, power, and pleasure. And even when I talk about power, I emphasize that power is when you align your personality, your human, with your soul, because your soul knows the blueprint that it's here to experience when it comes to prosperity, wealth, even the wisdom. And when you align with that, you get to align with what is naturally yours, what is your divine birthright. You understand? But when you go with the humanism, like the family that you were born in, that's where you immerse yourself in all the identities that was there, the us, where, yeah, probably there was poverty, and you just carrying on creating from this, even though you're going against it. But you can imagine There are some blueprints, there are some agreements, vows, contracts, and all pacts, and you trying to go against that as much as you can, which is a lot of work that is out there, is the mind, right? From the neck up. You can do the mindset, you can do the affirmation, you can do all sorts of things, but you are not embodying the frequency of that. So as much as your mind, all the mindset that you've done, and some conventional healing and all that, which coaching and therapy, which doesn't really go into the cells for you to really embody and plant in this frequency of you are worthy of that, aligning with that number, aligning with that relationship that fully helps you to expand and be who you are, So when you just be in the mind and all that, your body is holding into these imprints, into these habits, into these patterns. So all these fears are just coming through all the time, interfering. It's kind of like, oh, you want to be successful? I don't want to do that. Because the last time we did this, we were ashamed. The last time we did this, something bad happened. Your body reminds you, and then you hold back. You start with self-sabotage, procrastination, and all that. And for me, actually, what was playing a lot, besides the other ancestral patterns that were like coming through, but I was aware that every time I heard my mom's voice, just saying something, if you can be successful, you'll step on our toes or something like that. It's something that I grew up, like all that was said a lot when I was young, and it built this thing of, it's not safe because I might step on other people's toes, and these are the things that you can take for granted, but they put a barrier, a glass ceiling on your growth, and some, it's even relationships where you were in relationships and you were not free to expand and be yourself. And every time when you think of stepping out and growing and evolving, all these voices are coming through. I still remember the first time I got my job in a corporate company. In a relationship that I was in, my partner just told me that, no, you can't be moving from one company to the other, so just stay where you are. So I was just like, hmm what's going on here? You understand? So I had to sit with that and just wonder, does this person really wish the best for me? Because if I miss this opportunity, when am I going to get it again? So it made me feel uncomfortable with expanding. Like I said, I've also been asked so many times in relationship, like, who the hell do you think you are? As in, like, you don't deserve to be anything better, so just constrict, contract, and stay there. And often these things are coming from from childhood, because no matter what you do, when this is why I was talking about wonderful bliss, no matter what you do, if your inner child is not feeling safe to expand and create and receive, the inner child is going to sabotage all those opportunities. It doesn't matter whether it's relationships. If your inner child feels like, these are the things that took me away from the people that I expected to love me. Probably your parents were successful business people or careers and all that, and they were busy. And now your inner child sees the same thing happening, and you are not even connected to your inner child. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be a threat. And this is one thing that I intended to mention, I think in the previous video, that often we think it's all about, when you talk about the patterns that are stopping you from expanding and creating more, we think it's something that is only maybe dark shadows and all that. But no, I've come across different situations where even ancestors will come through, not because it's something dark, it's just because it's the light. Like, we served God in the past, we were in the light, but the pain that we went through, especially when you talk about psychic gifts and all that, where it's kind of like, you can't do this, it's we've served a lot of people, we're not appreciated, so many things happened and all that, and it holds you back, and a lot of emotions, like I mentioned, the guilt of expansiveness, of pleasure, the anger, even of some things that happen. It could be around money or just being mistreated by the people that you trusted or the people that you're in a relationship with, and the grief, which grief is a little bit complex. But again, at the core of it, we are born with that grief because we have separated. We sort of like when we change form to be in this human body, we change from our natural way of being as spirit beings. You understand? So immediately there is that grief that we're just born in, and if at all you can recall your childhood memories, you remember that even as a child there was a part of you who was kind of like you're not getting things properly. Something is missing here. Those are the signs that something has been missing. So I'm just here to ask you, are you expanding into your wisdom, wealth, and wonder-filled bliss? And the wonder-filled bliss is being brought in by your inner child, because the inner child knows the vision that you are here to express. I guess I'm frozen right there. I don't know what is happening with the internet. Yeah. So another thing with the wisdom, again, because of so many challenging experiences that many go through, we have this tendency of sort of like we want to just push the even when you talk about it, like, oh, we're just gonna clear all whatever, and not everything needs to be cleared. Of course, what is not in alignment with you expanding needs to be cleared, but there's some things that needs to be integrated, because in your experiences, no matter how challenging it was, no matter how much you want to just push it aside and be this person with this identity, there is wisdom in there. Wisdom is in your experience, and wisdom is not something that you can Google. It's something that you find within you. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about you coming within you and connecting with the wisdom that is built in you, because this is what you were built in. So at times we hold into a lot of things, roles, labels, qualifications, and all that, and we do not connect deeper and allow that wisdom to emerge by being present, right? Because you cannot connect to your wisdom if you do not feel safe to be in your body. So this is the work that we get to do, and I'm just calling you, especially in this time. And there is a card actually that I pulled just before the session to say, what are the things that the magnetic leaders need to surrender. And the two cards came through. you know um Surrender and healthy relationship. Let go of relationship that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So, where are you holding into toxic relationship? Where are you leaking? Like I say, you are leaking your sexual energy in things that you do not want. That I don't have any choice. I have to sleep with my partner because we're in a relationship. I don't have any choice. I have to. What is it that you are doing coming from I have to? Even with work, if you're doing something just for money, that I have to. Yeah, there is that energy which is not really expansive. And another one is surrender to non-action. Now it's time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. And that is the power of it. This is why when I talk about aligning with prosperity, power, and pleasure, when you are in your power, when you are aligned, when your human is aligned with the soul, and you just know who you are, and also knowing that prosperity is also your divine birthright, and knowing that there is what is yours and no one can take it away, as much as the work that you are here to do is meant to be done by you. The people that are going to hear you and they'll stop when you're talking. They'll stop when you're coming through with whatever offer that you have for them. They might not hear somebody else. It doesn't matter how famous or whatever or powerful that person's work is. They're waiting for you to embrace all that, because at the end of the day, all the clients and all that we are helping, it is an agreement that we have at a soul level. You understand? So when you are in your power, you get to expand in there and open up to receive. And as I always say as well, when we're talking about intimacy, which is fully opening up and connecting, it is that honesty. Just being honest, as I'm calling you to say, what is the state of your being? How is things working out? You might be whatever business, whatever relationship, but you know how things are. Do you love what is happening? If you love what is happening, then expand more into that. Be open, honest and open. If you don't like where you are creating your life from, then it's time for you to stop opening again to that which you do not want to create your life from. Because when you are honest and you are open, then you get to trust. And for you to receive is to receive, especially from opening up to flow, it's you being fully vulnerable, which at times it could be being vulnerable as in like accepting that what you are, the state of your being is not what you want to create your life from. And you get to raise your hand and say, hey, I need help. Because the most person with power is the one who is willing to raise their hand and say, I need help. And I know most of the powerful people out there, women or men, they struggle with asking for help because they have this thing of, I get to be everything for everyone, but you are not everything for yourself. But no matter whether you are a man or a woman, no matter how powerful you are or what kind of position you have, at the end of the day, you are a human being. You've got emotion. You need to be listened to. You need to be heard. So you gotta be raising your hand and say, I need some help, because you are being everything for everybody, and everybody's holding into you are strong, you can make it. You are strong, you can make it. At times, being strong is just it's delusional, actually. For me, it was the point where, like I said, when I separated with my children and going through different lawyers, and I kept thinking with the whole strong thing. But there was a point, especially when I received a call that my daughter has been bitten by dogs, because before I was holding into at least nothing has happened up until now. And this is what I always say, that at times we hold into the at least, but that's not grace. At least it's a settling. So I was not expanding into being grateful, for just the health of my children, but I was like, at least nothing has happened. You understand? Even those words, they have their own frequency. So when I received a call that my daughter is in the hospital and she might not walk again, all the structures and the walls that I've built around me collapsed. And at that moment, I said, God, I don't want to be strong anymore. I don't want to be strong. I was tired. I could not keep up anymore. I could not be tensed anymore. And the moment I did that, it was kind of like there was that where it's kind of like, let's just let go and let us hold you. And that was the source, the universe, that just said, let go. We've got you. And I learned to dance with all the emotions. I learned to embrace all of me. As I say, even the ocean came through and just say, you are all that. You can be the storm, you can be still, you can be all that. It's who you are. You cannot deny who you are. And there was this beautiful music playing as I allowed myself to be wide open, where I was screaming, crying, and all that. And the universe was just saying there is beauty in all this, just like music with different tones. So you gotta embrace all of you. You gotta love all of you. You gotta receive all of you. And when you do that, baby, magic happens. And this is where we are called to receive all of us, because we are here to express all this emotion. So if you are pushing in, wanting to feel certain emotions, holding into the whole being positive, because at the end of the day, the deeper you can go with all this uncomfortable emotion, especially when you're talking about grief, whether it's about love, even anger. It's just like something that we put in there to cover up, because we do not want other people to see the beauty that is within. We do not want to express the love that is within. But when you try to protect yourself at that level, you are protecting that which you desire to also come through. You understand? And when you allow yourself, because even when I talk about boundaries, you cannot create boundaries from fear, because when you are coming from the fear, then the fear is, what if they reject, abandon me? Am I gonna belong? Am I beautiful enough if I'm crying, if I'm angry, and all that? But when you get to accept all of you, you get to be here. And those who are open to receive all of you are those who deserve to be in your place. So when you show up at that level to say, this is who I am, can you feel the power into accepting all of you? And I came to say yes to yourself. It's something that I love, because often most of you say no to yourself. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I don't have, you are using money as an excuse to stepping up and embracing all of your beingness, all of your magnificence, for you to allow the prosperity that is coming through, because you are putting money before your magnificence, before your magnificent gifts, before the service that you are here to provide. That is undermining the creator that knows and trusts the ability that is within you. When you say yes to yourself and say, I am willing to be of service, I'm willing to express that which is within me, God, make it possible. I don't know how, but I'm open to receive the next guidance that will lead to my next level of expansion, right? And you listen. And God is going to guide you into the next level of expansion, And I had another amazing, powerful woman who was it a week ago or two, who said to me, we were supposed to have a call, and she said, I would like you to cancel this call because I think I'll be wasting your money, because I don't think I have money to afford your services. And I was like, what is that? What makes you think you are wasting my time? And that on its own is about how less we think of ourselves and how untrusting we are of the universe, right? But when you say yes to yourself, because I have been in situations where I knew I didn't have anything, but at the end of the day, the pull towards doing something, when I was called, even when I say Spirit gave me a number and say, you get to invest in yourself. And by then that was $7,600. And I was just like, oh, this is just like a joke. What do you mean? But there was that drive. My soul already knew, I knew what I wanted to do. But when I knew this is the person that I'm meant to work with, I said yes. Now, how am I going to make it happen? And it happened in the way that I didn't even expect. Even when I was given the name of my ex to be the person who get to bless me by paying for this. Can you imagine how magical the universe is? I was like kicking and screaming, no, not my ex. Not my ex. But at the end of the day, I was like, whatever, and I picked up a phone and called him. And surprisingly, he paid for my fees. And I was like, thank you, Source, because at the end of the day, when you talk about money, everything is coming from Source. But the question is, are you willing to align with that? And if at all you've been sitting back and telling yourself stories, yet you know that you are not reaching the goals that you desire, you are not saving at the level that you desire to be saving at, and you are busy there with the whole strong mask and all the masks that we often wear to hide ourselves, now I just want to call you out. I want to call you out because the prosperity portals are open, and the time is for you now to relax into prosperity. The question is, are you willing to say yes to yourself? Are you willing to say yes to your magic? Are you willing to say, it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to make it happen? And God lead the way. Because if you say yes to yourself, the universe will say yes to you. If you are not committed to yourself, why should other people commit to you? Often even in relationship, people are often like, oh, somebody could not commit. Somebody is judging me. Somebody has got potential, because we project all the shadows and the light, right? Until you unleash your own potential, baby, you'll keep on falling for projecting your own potential outside of yourself, right? What are you projecting? What are you waiting for? I just wanted to ask you that. And if you feel cold and you're like, I've been holding myself back, and how I want to have a conversation, I would like to have a conversation with you because you don't know what will come out of that. Stop holding yourself back. Stop holding your blessings back by holding into the stories. It doesn't matter whether it's the story of your sexual energy, or whether it's the story of your money, whether it's the story or whatever that you're holding into. Because for things to change, you gotta do something so that you do not live in that story for long. And as I always say, when you have a new problem, that's the most beautiful thing because it shows that you're growing. So I'm celebrating you. If you're still dealing with the same problem that you've been dealing with, it's time that you get to do something about it. And I love you. And the African ancient quantum magic is waiting for you to just make love with you so that you can make love with the universe and stop being ashamed of your desires, which is at the core of people embracing the truth of who they are and what they desire to create. It doesn't matter whether it's a functional and loving relationship where you have a killing orgasm, or just whatever money that you desire to make and all that. And I'm just inviting you to own all of that, and just feel into your body. Where are you feeling that? I'm just feeling a lot of fear that is just coming through. There's just a lot of fear that is coming through. And as I always say, lean on that. What aspects of you desire to be loved? So that you can expand into your next level of expansion, expand into prosperity, power, and pleasure. What are you afraid of when it comes to success? What are you afraid of when it comes to realizing that goal? How much is it? 100K per month, 200K per month, 30K per month, 5K per month. When you think of being in that relationship and just losing each other, yourself in each other's eyes, what is coming through and where are you feeling that? Because when you expand into these desires, then what is not in alignment is showing up to say, hey, I want to be released because now you want something that I feel I don't have the capacity to receive. So either I'm released or neutralized and integrated, right? It's all about making love. As I always say, you cannot give birth to what you do not conceive, and there is a lot of that disconnection, because even when you're talking about shame of or desires of shame of who you are, this is the energy, lowest vibration that actually disconnects you from yourself and from source. So I see a lot of people, it's kind of like, oh, I believe in God and all that, but yet there is aspects that are really angry because certain things happened. And you're kind of like, where were you, God, when this happened? So these are hidden subconscious programs that we need to dive deep into so that the magnificent, magnetic leader that you are can emerge. And yes, I cannot wait to have a conversation with you so that you can be one of the people who says, I'm grateful you said yes to your work. I hear this a lot, and I'm just inviting you to say yes to you as well. Because those people who wants to say yes to, I'm grateful that you said yes to you, are waiting. But are you willing to say yes to yourself? It's quite interesting because there's a lot of energy that is coming through on the throat. That is fear of self-expression. Who is afraid of expressing yourself? What are you afraid of when you just allow yourself and allow that wisdom to just come through you? Because we cannot wait to witness the magic that your unique self is here to birth. I love you, and I'll leave you with that. Have a wonderful, magical, and orgasmic day.